Hi, it is Tuesday, December 12th, 2023. I just wanted to give you guys a general update since I haven't in a while. I don't know if anyone keeps in touch with me this way, but um, what the heck? Emotionally, it's a roller coaster. I have real bad days like yesterday where I just feel awful. Um, and I really suffer. And I do what I gotta do on those days, which usually involves a lot of tears, to get through the day and to empower me to move forward and do the next necessary thing. Um, then, some days like today are better, and today I feel better, even though there's nothing that much different about today versus yesterday, circumstantially. Um, there's always something different. Things are constantly evolving, and I'm staying real focused. I'm really busy lately. I've been very productive, I would say. I was thinking about this, and I really think getting banned from X was maybe the best thing that could have happened to me because I devoted so much of my energy to that, seemingly in futility, in the sense that I wasn't really um, changing people's minds. It didn't seem like, as far as much of anything. And there was a certain amount, I think, early on of learning that went on, gaining insight, but I kind of got to a point where I feel like I've laid out a pretty good roadmap, and at this point, it's like the floor is yours. Whoever wants to respond and say, well, what about this? What about this? Now I am writing my fictional novel, my my let's just say novel. I'm getting better at cutting out unnecessary adjectives and adverbs. Writing is really awesome. Learning to write better prose, I think, just makes my use of the language generally more uh, efficient and powerful. Words do have a lot of power, and using the right words is important. And I've taken care for a while to use the right words. I've been writing really my whole life. I mean, I wrote in school. This is my first novel, but I mean, in addition to having written another book, I mean, I wrote this long blog that currently isn't available. It might come back at some point. That's down the road, maybe next summer. By the time I'll have a chance to look at that, but yeah, there's I've written tens of thousands of tweets back when it was Twitter and back when I was allowed on there, and tens of thousands on Facebook before that. And I mean, all of that's writing, and I communicate at work all the time. And then, I mean, I did 21 years, I think I worked out one time, of formal education, which of course involved a lot of writing. So, but now this process of writing a novel and really I've really been studying prose more and trying to improve my writing, and I think it's really interesting. I noticed the same thing. I had experience at poker before I got good at poker. And when I got good at poker and I learned like certain things you need to learn to understand how to play poker, my experience still helped because I was able to apply what I learned to what I had already begun to understand intuitively, and the skills I had, because just through experience you do gain certain insight. And I think writing is the same way. um, so I'm really looking forward to completing my book, and my intention is I've completed my first draft. I'm working on revising it. um, I got some developmental edits I'm hoping to complete tomorrow evening after work. I'm planning to stay late, and work on it. And I'm hoping, because it's not a huge thing, if I can get this one thing kind of fixed, then I feel like I can really attack the novel feeling as though the developmental edits are mostly done, even though I do expect certain things might trigger as I go through. Oh, I should talk about this, and there's some of that, but that will be a big thing to have that behind me. That's a lot of words in my notes. And anyway, long story short, I'm hoping to get my revisions complete within about another month before tax season hits, so I can get a professional editor looking at it while I'm working tax season, because that process is going to take a while. So, I it's amazing. I've made hundreds and hundreds of edits in my book already, and yet I feel like I'd be surprised if I'm more than 5% of the way through the editing process, just as far as my personal editing. And I have, it's going to be a big effort this next month, and I'm going to kind of reduce my poker playing for the sake of trying to get this done. And I do get some time off around the holidays, and not all of that is designated family time. So I may have a couple days around Christmas where I'm really just kind of hanging out on my own, and might be able to really kind of get a lot done. So, happy holidays to you guys, whatever holidays you celebrate. I talk about all these different religions in my book, and that's going to be kind of interesting, I think. But I may have some research I need to do. This next month, and then kind of get that into the edits too. It's a lot, and I'm busy, but I'm productive, and that's all I can be, right? So, I think at the end of the day, there's what you can control and there's what you can't control in this universe, and there's a lot that's beyond my control, and I'm trying to focus on what I can control. And the thing I can do is I can put an effort into finishing this book and producing something that I think is really going to be magnificent. So, I still go on YouTube sometimes, make comments on videos and things. So I don't feel like I'm fully detached from whatever discourse is going on in the world. I've done some rearranging of my finances recently, restructured some debt, get away from an adjustable rate note it was a credit line, and I've put that into a fixed interest note because I really am concerned about interest rates and what's going to happen to the bond market, because either the Fed is going to reverse course and they're going to start printing money again, in which case inflation expectations are going to go up, which is going to put selling pressure on the long term of the yield curve, because holders of those treasuries are going to want to be compensated for that increased inflation expectation. Or they're going to let interest rates rise, and either way, interest rates rise on that long-term debt, and the prime rate, which is what my adjustable rate was connected to, fluctuates based on the rate of I believe the 10-year treasury. So I think if you got any adjustable rate, you really want to read the fine print. Especially you got credit lines or credit cards, I think a lot of adjustable rate mortgages tend to have caps on the rate, which is good. But you got any kind of debt that's that's adjustable rate. I highly recommend trying to get it under a fixed rate plan. Spread it out as long as you need to spread it out. For me, this was like a short term. I'm trying to pay this thing off in 3 years. But whatever your budget is, whatever you can do, whatever the bank will give you, I highly fucking recommend doing it and getting away from any kind of adjustable rate credit cards, credit lines, um, anything of that nature. So, whew. Yeah, man. I mean, there's some cool people, man, and some of the guys at the casino I think are real cool, and I appreciate those guys, man. And when I'm in public, it's tough sometimes because I gotta like play pretend about certain bullshit, and yeah, it feels like sometimes the veil's getting kind of thin, man. Like I'm right on the edge of just let's stop playing the bullshit. You know what I mean? And I'm playing along because that's the game. That's what you got to do. But the veil is fucking thin, my friends, and it's okay. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, some of that what gets exposed is my own insecurities, my own um, weaknesses, my own flaws, whatever it may be, and I forgive myself for that shit. And I believe that as the veil becomes uh, pierced, that compassion will exist because I think the veil has been keeping us from love, from connection, and from compassion. And I think when the veil gets removed, that's kind of what's left. So we will see. And Merry Christmas to you guys. Um, I got to take my kids down to this hotel casino this weekend. Took them to a holiday show, and I shed tears during the show as the lady sang, um, "Oh Holy Night." It just really struck me. It was a really amazing voice she had, and it was just a really beautiful rendition, and it's a really beautiful song, and um, Noel, man, you know.